Hey, I'm back from outside. How y'all doing? Look, it's almost time for y'all to wind down and start getting ready for a very productive week. But look, I've been outside today and I was hanging out and I learned some things that you young ladies and some of you not so young ladies are doing. Y'all messing up the game. Y'all messing up the game. You messing up the game and you making it hard for everybody else. Keep all the marbles in the circle. Y'all not keeping the marbles in the circle. Listen, ladies, don't tell me nothing about how these men are if y'all are not being ladies and holding them to reasonable levels of accountability and standards. Look, some of these guys don't know any better. So, you got to make sure that you're dealing with a man that does not think you a 304 or was raised by one. Because there are certain things that men do when they have been either raised by a bunch of 304s and haven't taught them any manners, and they didn't have a man around to tell them anything, or either they treating you like one. Number one, if he pulls up to your house, no, let's go back. When you first meet that man and this is the way he greets you or tries to get your attention, yo, hey, what's up, shout? Hey, let me holler at you. Or he's standing up somewhere leaning, he's come in. If you get your dumb ass up and go over there where he is because he calls you over there to him, game over. You already losing. You on the 304 pile. Yeah. If that man is a decent, respectable human being with some respect for you as a lady, and if he was raised right and had some men, real men in his life, and some women, ladies, to refine his manners, he would come to you this way. Excuse me, I noticed you from over there. I'm Joe. What's your name? May I talk to you for a moment? That ain't simping. That shows you that this is somebody that was raised right. If he doesn't greet you in that fashion or similar, if he come leaning up to my, hey, yo, shout, let me holler at you. Either he thinks you a 304 or a 304 raised it. It's not up for discussions, not debatable. These are not suggestions. These are the rules and commandments. Number two, when he gets your phone number and he continuously texts you without making contact for a real telephone call. In other words, I realize the first contact may be, I enjoyed meeting you today. I'd like to know if this is a good time to talk. That's going to be his first text. He's going to contact you within a reasonable time, 24 hours, a couple days. And if he does text you instead of calling you, it will only be to remind you that you all met and verify if this is a good time to talk. If he doing all that texting, GM beautiful, WYD, he thinks you's a and he might be raised by a 304. Number three, he doesn't take the time to plan that first date. And it could be casual. He doesn't call you and say, hi, I've enjoyed talking to you, and I'd like to know if you would like to meet for lunch or coffee, within the next day or so. Hi, this is Joe. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and I'd like to know if you like Italian food. There's this really nice eatery, kind of centrally located, and I'd like to know if we can meet there for lunch. That's how that goes. It ain't no texting, hey, I'm over at the pool hall. If you get a chance, come through. hey, you want to go grab something to eat, where you want to go. And he does this with no thought the day of, no planning, just expects you to drop everything. He was raised by a 304, he thinks you won. So how he approaches you, how he makes initial contact, when he makes contact, and the first day. Now, if he gets past all of the other rules, or if he doesn't and you just, trying to give a brother the benefit of the doubt, when he picks you up for the date, when it's that time, and I'm not telling you to let anybody know where you live until you get to know them. Until you know who that person is, or you know him through somebody mutual, you meet him somewhere. But when the time comes and he comes to your house, if he pulls up in front of your house and blows the horn for you to come out, he was raised by O, and he think you a 304. If he pulls up to your door and he calls you on the way, I'm back to pull up, and you run your dumb ass out the door, you deserve whatever you get, because he was raised by O and he thinks you a 304. If he pulls up to the door and he texts you for you to come out and you take your crazy ass out the door, you deserve to get run through the mud, because you let him know that you are a 304 and that you are accustomed to being treated that way, that you are not the caliber of woman that a gentleman calls on properly. Okay? Let me tell you how this goes. Once upon a time, in a small village in Monroe County, there lived a girl named Crystal. And a young lad from over in town wanted to call upon Crystal. So he drove out past town, across the creek and up the hill, and pulled into the residence of Dr. and Mrs. S.C. Tucker. When he pulled up in the yard, he blew his horn. At that moment, anticipating the handsome lad's arrival, Crystal had dressed in her very finest casual wear and put on her new lip gloss. However, as soon as she heard the horn, she froze in her tracks, and a sense of dread overwhelmed her. She could hear her grandfather's heavy footsteps going toward the door, and heard the screen squeak as her grandfather stepped on the porch and in his very distinct voice said, "Young man, how you doing? Can I help you?" The young lad replied, "Yes, sir. I'm here for Crystal." And Dr. Tucker replied, "I don't think you are, young man." Well, sir, doesn't Crystal live here? No, she don't live here. She just stay here because I let her stay here. I live here because I pay the bills. But you're not looking for her anyway. But let me ask you something, young man. Is the truck broke down? The truck? Yeah, I figured the truck broke down, but let me look at you. You ain't even got on your little brown shirt and your brown pants. He said, "What you talking about?" "Sir, I don't understand." He said, "Don't you work for UPS?" He said, "Oh, no, sir, I don't work for UPS." He said, "You must work for UPS, because the only time you will ever pull up to this house and blow your horn and think anybody, especially her, is going to come to the door or out the door, son, you at the wrong house. I'll let her know that you came back. And you be careful backing out this driveway, because them transfer trucks coming down the highway. And we'll be seeing you here. I'll let her know you come by. And, later on one day when you learn how to call upon a young lady the proper way, I might let you come back and see her." Crystal, understanding the rules of her father, though disappointed, walked back down the hall to her bed and began to undress. She did not confront her father with the enforcement of his house rules, for she knew better. However, grandfather helped Crystal to dodge a bullet because that young man never properly learned how to court a lady, and she therefore did not get dragged through the mud by him. And Crystal, through all of her life, even though she may not have always chose the perfect fellow, she learned how to vet a gentleman. And she learned the difference between a boy and a male who was raised by a 304 or one who was trying to treat her like one. Okay? So ladies, how you start is how you finish. If he starts out treating you like a 304, he does that because either he was raised by one, he thinks you're one, and he'll continue to do it if you don't stop it at the gate, okay? So watch how he approaches you. How does he come up to you? How does he ask for your number? When he gets your number, what is the method of his first contact? After that first contact, how long is it before he actually plans a date and makes a gesture to see you? And finally, when it is time, when the time is right that you allow him to know where you live and he picks you up for the first time, how does he initiate that? How do you handle it? What you let slide is what begins the slippery slope. Remember, if you're not a 304, even if he was raised by one, you might can show him the difference and get him to treat you better. But the reason why he does that, number one, he was raised by a 304 that didn't teach him anything and he didn't have a man around to show him any manners. Two, he thinks you a 304, or maybe you are one and you accept that. Ladies, do better. If you want a man to treat you better, let him know that he either treats you like a lady or he goes back to where he was. Never lower your standards to raise your average, okay? So y'all stop running out the house because I wish somebody, let somebody pull up out there and text me. They'll be out there. And trust me, I can see them before they even, as soon as they pull up. And as old as I am, at this middle age, I was most flattered, refreshingly flattered, and honored when a gentleman came to me and said, Miss Crystal, I know that you're a busy lady, and I have a few things that I have to do right now. But when your schedule allows, I would like permission to call upon you from time to time. Baby, when I tell you, he top tier to me. He is, I don't care who else puts in an application to be a light-skinned or a dark-skinned boyfriend. He is in the top tier. He is a prime candidate. Yes, he is. He said it. Miss Crystal, when our schedules permit, I would like to call on you from time to time. Baby, when I tell you, when he does decide to call on me, I won't be on Facebook. Y'all won't see me that day. And I'm going to have some tea cake, potato pies, pound cake, lemonade, or something up in here to offer that gentleman when he comes to call me. Because he treated me like a lady. And I have no choice but to respect him for the gentleman that he is. How y'all start is how y'all finish. Of course now, ladies, if you out there with some pajamas on, some house shoes, and a bonnet on your head, that's why he handles you like you do. Even if he was raised by a nice lady, when you out in public with your pajamas on, your house shoes, and your bonnet on your head, he think you a 304. Y'all have a good night. See y'all later on in the week. Have a productive day. And ladies, the moral of this story is basically people treat you how you treat yourself, or either they treat you like you let them treat you. Be good to yourself. Be good to other people. And people with good sense will be good to you.